welcome to another Six Happening chat. And I'm chatting with Vic today, and it should be a pretty cool chat. How's it going, Vic?
I'm going good, man. I'm going good. How are you?
I'm great. It's nice to hear from you, and how's the week been?
The week's been pretty good, pretty good. Just chill, the usual stuff. Working, all that good stuff.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, man, it's important to check in on people, especially in these times, right?
Yeah. I was just chatting with a friend earlier. I want to get them on maybe for like the next time as well. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, what's their perspective? Like, what they specialize in?
They're what is it called? They do digital marketing, but they're also doing like a lot of mental health stuff, and so I figure it's good to like connect, just to get different perspectives of like how people are dealing and shit, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of if you think about it, everyone has their own way of like kind of dealing with this now, right? I'm talking about just like COVID, the way
Mhm.
it's going, right? Because
Mhm.
it's taking first it started with like it's affecting your health, immune system, and all that, and now it's turning into like it's affecting how people think, how they're gonna adapt to it in their lives, in their livelihood. So now it's affecting the mental game.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like now it seems to me that it could be a bit of a blessing and a curse in the sense that like a lot of people had a lot of time to reflect, being in lockdown, being in quarantine, whatever, or at least I hope so.
Yeah, that's true. Because at the end of the day, like if this hasn't like taught you something in terms of like the benefit, or you didn't really take the time to do positive stuff while you're in this, then I mean you're never gonna do it, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because like this was as good a time as any, right? Like having not like a lot of people not being physically at work now, right? Or in these times.
Yeah. Who would have thought, man? The mass exodus from people just doing like remote work or work from home. It's causing people to just move out of the city. And now rent prices are so low. It's going back to normal to like 11, 1200 for a bachelor.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And the thing is also, it's people are looking at these kind of these prices and thinking, oh, you know what? I better scoop it up now while it's that price. And they have a point in a way, right? But also, it's other people are looking outside the city, right? Or just outside the city, and they're like, oh, you know what? I'll still stick to visiting the city and not really living in it.
Yeah, and honestly, like I feel that vibe, man. I really do because I love Toronto, but like right now, it's just like a lot of things are kind of like ass backwards.
Yeah, for sure. Basically, directly due to COVID. But I feel like it started before that as well. Huh.
Yeah, and like the strangest thing is like COVID has hindered, but I think it's also helped some industries to like reinvent themselves or just get their shit together.
Yeah, and the thing is, I feel like now it's a good time. It's not a good. It's never a good time for this to happen, right? But it's taught people how to like adapt. I kind of feel, and kind of like okay, find other ways to sustain themselves if something like this ever were ever to happen again, right? God forbid.
Yeah, because like it's been crazy just the last year in general. I think because it's affected so many aspects of people in general. Like mental health, physical health, financial health, right?
Yeah, and speaking about mental health, actually, the story that I had yesterday that was crazy was Vic and I were going to the on the bus, actually in the train there, and then there was a person that obviously was disturbed, and he started yelling at us, and shutting obscenities at us, and it looked like he was about to get physical. I like the way Vic and I handled it. We didn't react. We stood our ground. We didn't back away, but we also were aware of him, and we're just trying to give him his space. But uh, basically, for me, I was trying to control my own emotions and not react to whatever that guy was doing, just because of the fact that like, what's the point of engaging into that?
Yeah.
It just have to be a whole ordeal, you know. But it just goes to show you that these, I guess, people like that have always been around, but I'm noticing it a lot more now. Just when you're out and about, and
Mhm.
it's a sad thing to see, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely not fun to see somebody, just being in a bad situation and just losing their shit. And I mean, hopefully the guy's all right, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. If I were to bet, I'm pretty sure he got into a fight with someone else that night.
Yeah.
Just from the way he was acting.
Yeah, who knows what that is, man? Because the thing is, I find in my experience, they may be like whatever, but they pick up on vibes. Like they're hypersensitive. Because I remember this street fellow. He saw a lady from across the street. I saw her closer, and she was just like looking really tired. Kind of stressed, grumpy, whatever.
Yeah.
This guy took that face as like B word, entitled, whatever.
Wow.
And I just see she's coming back with her groceries. This guy
Yeah.
runs across the street. There's traffic. He didn't care. And he goes and he grabs her shit.
What the heck?
And like, she fought him off. And then he just ran off. So it's like, whatever. But it's just like, I found it crazy. Because I'm just walking away from the scene. But as I see it, it's just like, geez, man. This guy, he caught onto like something that was something else. Right? So I think that's why with people of that demographic, I think it's better. It's almost like they speak in energy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they're kind like exactly. For example, that guy yesterday, he was just looking for a problem, right? Like even if we weren't, like just started saying stuff to us and like looking for a reaction. So once we reacted, then he was gonna do something, you know?
Yeah,
It's like
because
if you
like
pay them no mind or give them no attention, I guess they eventually go away, or they should go away. Not in every case, right?
yeah,
But the thing I was wondering about was, see, something like that, like for example that happened, that incident. Is that do you feel like that's more mental illness or that's drug addiction, or do the two go hand in hand?
um, they're usually separate but close together in the sense that, in a way, in some cases, not all the time, they feed each other, right? So like, say somebody has an addiction and they have an anger problem, but it's like when they drink too much or do too much or whatever, they get into trouble, right?
It's fueled by that, pretty much.
Yeah, yeah. So like in some cases, be it alcohol or drugs, it can compound stuff that they're already struggling with. Because like honestly, after I was done being like tensed up, I'm like, oh, this guy's gonna sucker punch me. My next thought was like, what what must he be going through that he's so frustrated and feels so powerless? Right? Like, who knows? I don't know. So I figure, you know what? I'll just give this guy the benefit of the doubt and just pay him no mind.
Yeah, those were my thoughts too. It's kind of like, you know, I actually kind of felt bad for him because he's obviously to be going like on an outburst like that and punching the air, and he was slamming the phone and whatever stuff he was doing, right? Like kept being physical. Obviously, it's a rough time in that guy's life, right? Like he's obviously reached rock bottom. For me, that's rock bottom. You know, you're doing that. You don't care what people think at that point, right? And then it's like, I feel like that it's almost like a cry for help, you know? Like it's like, oh, like listen to me or look at me. This is what's wrong with me, and like I need someone to take it out on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So but it's at the same time you feel bad, but you're aware that they can cause you harm. So you gotta kind of pay attention as well, you know?
Yeah.
You can't be totally. Well, I mean, what surprised me was that lady that just walked by too, right? Because she was like, oh yeah, there was a lady that just passed by him, and she acted like nothing. I guess that's how we're getting used to in this city. We're getting used to seeing things like that, right? Where you can just walk by like that.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of the time in that sense, like, I'm pretty sure it was like a logical decision in the sense, like, well, you know what? I am old and small. I'm not going to get involved with this while he's distracted. I'll keep going on my way, right? And I think a bit of that mechanism kind of kicked in for this fellow as well, where like he tried to approach, but he saw he was like outnumbered, and he just kind of backed away and started putting on his show. I'm like, okay, that's where I kind of relaxed a bit, because I'm like, okay, at least he's within a distance where if he tries anything, we can react in time.
Exactly. Because when he came in the beginning, he was right behind you, and that's when it startled, right? But even me, when I saw him coming down, I saw him like kind of like agitated already. But he only did that when he saw us talking there, like that bothered him. Like it was like a trigger or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
who
I guess
knows?
necessarily, maybe it wasn't even just because it was us. It could have been any two or group of people, you know?
It is what it is.
Yeah, man. But honestly, man, like it's the city needs to help more people like that, you know? Because like there's a lot of them nowadays. Even after that, when that happened, when I was like near my station where I live, right? At the same time yesterday, this guy came up to me and he goes, "Hey, do you want some liquor, some alcohol? I can give you some alcohol." I was like, "No, I'm okay, man." And he takes out 2 bottles from his like jacket, and I said no, and he starts like chugging the 2 bottles. But you know, he looked like kind of disheveled, right? Like dirty.
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, this is maybe we need to clean up these stations, man." You know what I mean? That's the first thought that came into my mind.
Oh. Like,
But
I don't know what the answer would be, I guess, to touch on that briefly. Like, there's respite shelters popping up all over the city,
yeah.
but, I mean, I've worked with these guys, and the weird thing is they're telling me they don't want to be there either. Because, like, it's a respite, and it's pretty much, like, as long as you're not killing anybody, then you can stay and sleep. Oh.
True.
We got
So
some
are they,
friends.
like, is it you're rehabilitated, or is it just like to stay overnight? Kind of place?
There's a need for more rehabilitation, more affordable housing. Yeah, that's what's leading to the crisis. Like more and more people are getting priced out of reasonable, affordable housing. It's like suddenly you need to look up some kind of special website that has affordable housing to find something in that $1,200 bracket. And it's like, okay, you don't want to pay much for rent. Go live Jane and Finch. Right?
Yeah, and you see then that goes into another issue because you don't want to pay too much, but then you risk yourself being in an area that has a high crime rate. So there's like always give and take. So it's like, it's kind of sucks, but honestly, I think it's just a big issue. It's not like a small thing, and it's been going on for a while. And this COVID kind of like just highlighted it. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like the drugs that are out there now on the streets and the market, black market and everything, they're stronger now, and the people are mixing it with other drugs, and that's why there's so many like overdoses and stuff, right?
Fentanyl has done a lot of damage in society in general. Like, that drug has killed so many people. It's like anything else, they'll sooner suffer from withdrawal, right? But it's just like that fentanyl garbage is just, oh man, it's so bad. It's so bad. And it's just like, it's like crack in the sense that it's cheap. Right? People can pay with laundry change to go and get their hit.
And it doesn't take much for someone to overdose on that, I heard, apparently.
Yeah.
It's like just a little bit and you can die.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, man. Like, if you're an unscrupulous dealer, I figure, you know what, you're dealing drugs to homeless people. Who knows? Who's saying that that's all they're stopping at, right? Like, a lot of them, they could be, what's known as stepping on it, which is basically just grinding up the drug, mixing it with some other stuff that who knows if it's good for us, and selling that.